Hey guys, Sammy, back here with another review. This is going to be a hardware review. This one is going to be on the IPV2LI Dual 18650 box mod by Pioneer for you, which does do temp control stock out of the box. Fires 165 watts stock out of the box. After your firmware upgrade, you can fire up to 200 watts. Now, the firmware upgrade is done via this micro USB port right next to your 30 vent holes. That's a lot of venting, which I'm really a big fan of. The finish on this is fantastic. It's held up really well. It's aluminum with a coating on it, which isn't that easily scratched in my opinion, etc. Does have these nice cutouts, which are great. They're great for your thumbs. They fit right there for the firing sensor on the top, and they work really well just for holding the mod. Now, here we've got this little regular, some classic Pioneer for you marketing here. It does kind of have this space looking, it's got a bunch of stars and stuff in there. It's pretty neat. We do have some branding up here, the IPV2LI branding with the YiHi SX330V3SL chip and their logo here. There is a version with carbon fiber panel doors which doesn't have that branding, which I personally like a lot better, but that's just me. The top of the mod, we've got your 510, your spring, is it spring loaded? I didn't even check. We have spring loaded 510, and it seems to be adjustable as well, either gold or brass coating on that, I'm not sure. Everything sits really flush. The 510 connection is flush to the top of the mod, and I mean perfectly. Which is near your firing sensor. This is a thumb sensor or a finger sensor. You could put your thumb up here and use it as a fire button. The buttons are really clicky. They do click really well. Now, the screen is so bright, actually, that it has a hard time picking up on my screen. I'll screw an atomizer on here so we can show you. Now, the menus work in a funny way. 5 clicks on, 5 clicks off, standard. But if you want to adjust your wattage up, what you're going to have to do is hit down first. Because if you don't hit down wattage first, what it does is it cycles through all of your memory settings. So mine go up in roughly 10 watt increments, all the way up to about 80 watts. Right now we're working at 40.4, which is one of my sweet spots. So it's got 5 memory settings, which you can scroll through by clicking your up wattage switch, your up power switch, your up temperature switch, whatever you want to call it. If you want to adjust it just up and down without jumping through your memory settings, all you've got to do is hit down once or twice on your down switch, and it will go, your down button, and it will go down and then up, and you can change it. Switching from everything is really easy. Like I said, the finish holds up great. Ergonomically extraordinarily pleasing. My pinky sits on this cutout, my thumb sits on this cutout, and I do use the thumb sensor. I actually do. When I'm at home, it's great. I could just pick up the mod, fire it using that top sensor. Obviously, because it is regulated, you don't need to worry about a 510 connection protruding on the bottom of your atomizer. Like this, you'd want to see that 510 protruding more. That really doesn't matter with something like this. That was the dot mod style RDA as well. It does have these diagonal cutouts here, which are chromed, which is actually a really nice touch. And I know you can get a lot of skins for this. That's something I'm looking into. I might be doing some product reviews on some skins for the IPV2LI. Hopefully I can find one that has a flatter finish. I don't like glossy, cheap feeling or e-juice looking label types of stickers. That's just not my thing, personally. Everything's great. It tells you your battery life, tells you your ohms, tells you your volts, tells you what memory setting you're on, and your wattage or joules depending on what mode you're in. It does hit hard, and it doesn't take long to heat up. There isn't a crazy ramp time. Of course, that'll depend slightly on what kind of build you've got in there. Obviously, something with a lot more wire, thicker wire, Clapton, things like that will take longer to heat up. Mind you, there isn't a wait time or anything like that for these. You can just jump your power up, which is why I've switched from a mech to something with variable voltage, or sorry, variable wattage. Temp control is something I'll be interested in. I want to do a review on that of itself. I don't know how it works on this. I wanted to give it a good review stock before I do the upgrade. I was actually planning on doing the upgrade right now, so I figured I'd get this review out beforehand. Absolutely no rattle. I get no door rattle. I get no battery rattle when anything's in there. Oh, and that was my sleeve. Nothing. Everything, like I said, everything sits gorgeously flush on there. It's fantastic. There is the open logo for the door. So you slide this down, and if you hear that, what that is this little protruding, almost BB, that sits in this little divot right at the top here. And what that does is once you slide these in on this little, it's got these hinges, almost like rails on a train. So you slide that in the bottom, you get up to here, and it clicks in. It doesn't go anywhere otherwise. Like I said, doesn't shake around. It's super clean in here, guys. As to be expected with something like this. It's extraordinarily clean. Here we've got two high-drain 18650 batteries. The battery sled is underneath, and you've got this gorgeous IPV2LI and Pioneer for You branded cover. Your 4 screws, no magnets, but you do have this lovely rubber traction mat. And what that helps with is when it's on, it takes a little more to push it off. And if someone really is pushing down on it hard, it's not going to come off because it's going to get traction on that rubber. The back of the door is coated with a sticker type of thing to prevent shorts on the aluminum body. And so is the bottom of the battery sled in here, which is key. Mind you, that being said, if your wraps are damaged on your batteries, please, please, please switch those out. It's still not safe to have damaged battery wraps in this mod, regardless of the reverse battery protection and all that jazz. It's just not, it's not smart. Batteries are not something you should screw around with. It's also invincible, at least mine, or at least for now. Something happened where I left this at a friend's house for a bit, and his house got broken into. And for some reason, they took a few items from his room, and then they ended up ditching them like outside of his house in a snowbank. I live in Canada. There are snowbanks everywhere. Land of snowbanks, in the winter at least. So this was totally with batteries in it, totally submerged in the snow for days. He shoved it in some rice for about a week. I took it out. It's been fine. It's been absolutely fine. No damage to the screen, no damage to anything, which is great, which is absolutely fantastic. Now I'm rocking this at 40 watts. I find that's my sweet spot between a nice amount of vapor and something mellow where I can save a bit more juice. I'm always into saving juice. Juice is expensive. I tend to go through it a lot, and I don't want to go through it as fast. Especially some of the juices I'm getting for review now, I may not necessarily be paying for, but they're so good, some of them, that I don't want to run through them quickly. So if you're looking for a regulated 165 watt or 200 watt device, this might be something you want to check out. I know they released the IPV3, then the 4, and then the 3LI. So this is actually the updated version that actually came out after the 4th. It's absolutely fantastic. It's actually one of my favorite looking box mods too, because of these cutouts, because of the flat finish. I really like it. It definitely does have some heft to it when you put some batteries in there when they're charged. Charged batteries think way more. Out of the box, without batteries, it's pretty light. Like I said, it's all aluminum, plastic, battery sled, so yeah, it's keeping weight down for sure. And this does come in silver as well, I do believe. I'm not a big fan of silver box mods. I find they're big enough already. It's kind of nice to have something darker and blend in a little, but that's just me. It does have a problem, I've heard, where people take off their screen protector and then they bit here that actually protects the chip in the screen itself, this plexiglass or whatever they're using, actually peeled off with it. This is not the case for mine. I have a lot of friends with these. None of that hasn't happened with any of them. But like I said, if you're looking for a regulated device, a dual 18650, you want some more battery life, you want some more power, you're building stuff, you have more wire, you need to heat it up. I mean, this for me is the way to go. I'm also looking into a smaller 40-watt device to maybe bring around, carry it 30 watts maybe, just to have something small and maybe have this for around the house. That being said, I do bring this to bars, I do bring this to clubs, I do bring this to friends' houses, and it's not actually that bad. Something else to keep in mind is because of this top thumb sensor, or finger sensor, whatever you want to call it, because of this guy here, if you have an atomizer where your airflow comes out of these sides, what you'd want to make sure, and what I haven't done today, is that you adjust your 510 so that it isn't pointing at, your venting isn't pointing at your thumb. Because if you're using your thumb sensor, and you blow out of your atomizer, maybe you've overjuiced it a little, something like that, you want to heat it up really good, what'll happen is you will burn your finger. So all that hot vapor just went right onto my finger, and if I was using a higher wattage, I probably would have hurt myself. So that's something to keep in mind. Definitely something to keep in mind safety-wise. You would want it where your airflow, kind of at the sides. You know what I mean? So maybe that's something to keep in mind if you're just starting to use it, etc. Or maybe you don't want the thumb sensor. You can turn it on and off by holding the power button and the down button. There we go, off. And if we hold the power and the up button, there we go, and it's on. It's great. I actually don't use the thumb sensor unless I'm at home because I like to just pick up the mod, vape, and be done with it. But if I'm out and about and I want to put it in a pocket or something, I don't want that firing in my pocket if I go to grab it, something like that. That's really unfortunate, or would be really unfortunate. Hasn't happened to me yet. 5 clicks on and off, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can hit the up or down volume switch that says system off. That's also how you get in your menu, switch temperature control mode, power mode, etc. And it, like I said, it does have 4 memory settings, which are fantastic. You can jump to presets you set, or you can hit the down wattage and scroll through. The buttons are clicky. The buttons have a great finish. Everything fits together really well. So if you want to pick up your IPV2LI, I'm going to put some links down below in the description. I do believe Clear Sky Vapes in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, on Somerset does have these in stock. They did last time I was in there, and they have the carbon fiber one, which I believe is even lighter too. And I would highly suggest going to check them out. I mean, they've got great recommendations. They've got everything in there, everything you could possibly need. Everything's authentic. So if you're looking for authentic gear in Ottawa, or you're looking for a good box mod, check them out. Another option, vaping story as well. I'm not sure if they have the IPV2LI in stock, but if they do, I will put the link down below in the description as well. Thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you for your support. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more videos, reviews, be it hardware or my opinion on something, or primarily Canadian Aegis reviews, stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button. I've got a ton of stuff coming in. I've got some stuff from Vape Moshi, P Labs, Custom E-Juice, Canada E-Clouds, Van Gogh Vapes, Vape Moshi, a whole bunch of stuff coming in, possibly as soon as tomorrow with the Vape Moshi line, and I'm hoping to get a review done for those. Each one will be individual, of course. Those will all be in 0 milligrams. So if you want to see some more juice reviews, like I said, hit subscribe, stay tuned, and thanks for watching.